the News Channel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to News Channel 5 Plus right here on Open Line, where you are watching Ask the Expert. Tonight is for you. Your questions, your comments, your stories, anything that you want to call in and share with us, we are happy to hear from you. The number is going to be right there on your screen all night. And we're excited to talk with our friends once again at Creekside at Three Rivers Assisted Living with Memory Care. That's our guest this evening. And we are so happy to have you all return. We've got Amy Kelley, Director of Marketing and Community Relations. Amy, as always, doing well?
Yes, doing great. Thank you.
Great. We're happy to have you. And you brought a friend tonight. We have with us Jessica Nowlin, Director of Nursing. Jessica, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, guys, let's kick off the show. Maybe we've never heard of Creekside before. Tell us a little bit about what you both do at Creekside, a little bit about your background as well.
Sure. Well, Creekside is an assisted living and memory care in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We help take care of individuals, not necessarily what we would consider seniors, but individuals 60, 55 and older, and help assist them with activities of daily living, providing meals, just assistance as needed. I am the Marketing and Community Relations Director at Creekside, so I get to work with families and our residents as they're entering the building, helping show them around, get paperwork from the facility or from physicians, just to help get them settled into the community. I also do a lot of community outreach within Murfreesboro and just really promoting Creekside. I've been in the senior industry for about 10 years now. I've worked in long-term care, hospice, and assisted living, so I've done a little bit of everything. And what brought me to this is I'm very close with my grandparents, and I've always loved the senior community and just love helping them, so that's why I started at Creekside.
Wonderful. We always like to hear your background and kind of the story that led you into this line of work. And Jessica, same question for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from Shelbyville. I've been a nurse for about a decade now. My specialty has always been geri psych. That's where my heart is, with dementia patients. And I got involved with Creekside just a few months ago, actually. It was their memory care program that drew me to them. I am in charge of all of their care. I'm in charge of the nurses and the caregivers. I just help make sure that the residents are getting the care that they need. I assess them and find out where their needs are. I coordinate with their families, their physicians, with therapy, just to make sure that they are getting the services that they need.
Wonderful. We're happy to have you on the show tonight, Jessica, and Amy returning again. So, you know, we've done this a couple times. We always love having you guys as our guests here on Open Line. We talk about different things each time, but we also, you know, share again about really all that Creekside does. We let people know about the campus, as I always like to call it, which is absolutely gorgeous. Let's talk a little bit about a preview, some of the things you want people to know we will be discussing on tonight's show.
Sure. Well, what we kind of took a poll with some individuals who aren't in the industry, and some things that they really wanted to know about was the difference between assisted living, nursing home or skilled care, and nursing home. Just really what those differences are, because a lot of people don't understand that. Another thing we're going to discuss is hospice versus home health, what the differences are and how we can utilize those services within Creekside. How assisted living is paid for, and several other things. I can't remember everything. I know we have a list, so.
We do. I've got it right in front of me, actually. Well, great. So it's going to be a fun conversation tonight. We are so happy that you're joining us, maybe at home tonight watching our show. And of course, I want to send out the invite one more time. Give us a call. The number's right there on your screen. It's 615-737-PLUS. This is Ask the Expert. I'm not the expert. They're the experts. And they're just going to answer any questions that you have, really just about all of the topics that we were just discussing. So let's dive into really the difference between everything you said a minute ago. You know, what's the difference between skilled care, nursing home, assisted living, and memory care? Break that down for us.
Skilled care is typically for more acute issues, post-surgical, infections, whenever you've been very sick. You just get a different level of care, round-the-clock care from skilled nurses. They can provide wound care, IV therapy, you can get your physical therapy, occupational, speech therapy, respiratory therapy, and it's typically a fairly short stay. It's usually temporary, whereas
it's about 20 days. Insurance covers skilled care, and it's depending on the insurance how long they'll pay for those services.
Whereas in the nursing home, it's more of a permanent setting for people that need the round-the-clock care. Where in assisted living, it is more of an apartment. It's more of a home setting. We want you to live there. We want you to feel at home. We are there to help you if you need us.
And you all kind of help with that transition as well. Sometimes we start off with, you know, just the senior living, and then we move into memory care, perhaps. And tell us a little bit about how you guys are able to help people with that transition pretty seamlessly.
Usually, our residents begin in our assisted living area, and when we start seeing things like confusion, wandering is a big thing, and wandering means they're going in and out of other people's apartments, or they're going outside and they're not safe. Safety is a big thing. And
when they start making unsafe decisions or are unable to make safe decisions.
Yeah. So really what we do at that point is we have discussions with the family and that resident to make sure that they're aware of the changes in the disease process, and we transition them to a smaller secured area so that they aren't able to go outside unless they're accompanied by someone. They have more one-on-one care than you would receive in a larger assisted living area, and the programming is specific for those residents who have memory or cognitive issues.
Wonderful. Now, Jessica, you said you joined the Creekside family recently. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've noticed and that you've seen in your line of work that really, you know, indicates Creekside does it right.
It's mostly our memory care programs. It is one of the best memory care programs I've been involved with, and I've done Jerry Psych my whole career. We are able to treat our residents with so much dignity and provide so much care. Our activity staff does a wonderful job of making sure that there's always events. There's always something going on to keep them entertained and to keep them engaged.
That's great.
Wonderful. Good answer. Definitely. Let's move on to, how do you know when a nursing home or assisted living is appropriate? When can you kind of realize that it's time?
Typically, I mean, you worked in a nursing home, so you know, a nursing home is a higher level of care. As Jessica said, it's more acute.
Yeah, and usually you would go into nursing home skilled care after you've had a surgery or after you've been discharged from the hospital. Moving into assisted living is a little different. People go to visit their families and they realize that their parents aren't taking care of themselves. Maybe they're not cleaning the house, maybe they're not performing hygiene, maybe they're making unsafe choices, and you realize that maybe they just need somebody else there to make sure that these things are getting done.
Definitely. You know, we've talked to before about having that conversation with a loved one. You all always provide wonderful advice on how to get that conversation going.
You have to make it their idea is the biggest thing. I think assisted living is, well, any senior living is a hard transition for someone who has been living at home by themselves, been very independent, and they think that coming into a community they're going to lose all independence. But in reality, in assisted living, we promote independence. We encourage them to still be involved in the community. We encourage them to still perform their personal hygiene, to do their own laundry. But if they can't do those things, that's where we step in. So I think having them come in for a tour is the biggest thing, so that they can feel the sense of community, see that it's not a nursing home, it's more activities, see the residents out, the residents say hello as they're walking by, so they don't see old people sitting in wheelchairs. It's lively, it's fun. So I think getting them into the community, also bringing them in to eat a meal, coming in for an activity and volunteering. Those are all great things to do for someone who might be a little resistant.
You know, one great thing, you've said this before, Amy, that when you want someone to tour the campus and see the facility, it's always great. You can call ahead, you can make an appointment, but you actually encourage people, swing by, pop in, surprise us. We're ready for you, because you guys are proud of where you are.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I encourage any family when they're looking for placement to do that anywhere. When you know a tour is coming, you can have everything cleaned up. You can make sure that everything looks good. You want to come in on these off hours, especially when the management team is not there, so that you can find out what's actually going on out there, what the caregivers are doing, what the residents are doing.
Definitely. Yeah, good to know. We do have our first caller. I believe we have Charles on the line. Hi, Charles. Welcome to Open Line. What would you like to say?
Yes. Do you ever have visitation by youth groups or young adult groups who want to sit down with these people, just talk to them, and learn what the world was like before their time?
Absolutely, we do.
We do. We actually had a group come in 2 weeks ago, I think. They were called the Kindness Camp, and it was children aged, I think, 6 to 12, and they came and did 2 activities with our residents, took a tour of the community, sat down and talked to them. I think there's a lot of value in having children, whether it's their small children and teenagers, coming in and talking to people who have life experiences. So I definitely think that's a value for sure.
Great call. Thank you so much for tuning in and calling us tonight, Charles. We appreciate it. And of course, if you're sitting at home right now and you have a question for either of our guests tonight on Open Line, we highly encourage you to pick up the phone and give us a call. But if you can't call us tonight, that's okay. Give them a call really anytime. We have your information as well. We'll share that later on in the show, and you can always visit your website, which I've done numerous times. And I tell you what, those senior apartments are fantastic. Let's go into that a little bit. Some of the fun things about living at Creekside is it is home.
It is. We have several different apartment styles. It ranges from small studio, large studio, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. Our studio apartments are 1 large room. It has a bathroom with a walk-in shower and a kitchen with a full-size refrigerator and microwave. There's no oven, because in assisted living, really the goal is to be stress-free, and we provide all your meals. So we don't want you to have to cook. And then the 1 bedroom, of course, is separate living room, bedroom quarters, and the 2 bedroom quarters.
Awesome.
And then for memory care, it's all studio size apartments, and it's more of an intimate setting, secured area where you know, they have a living area, and a kitchen, but they mainly stay together in the living space.
Wonderful. You know, one thing that's fun about tonight's show too is we've had you all here on Open Line several times as one of our favorite guests, and we always love talking to you. And tonight you actually said earlier, maybe you're just joining us, that the questions I'm asking here at the top of the show tonight are questions that were polled, that you think people that aren't in the industry wanted to hear. So I'm going to get back to some of these questions because they're very good, and I think that it's really honest to ask some of these, because these aren't things that you all brought in talking about. These are things that you polled people on and they want to hear. So another question that we had tonight was, what's the difference between hospice and home health?
That I am a huge fan of hospice. I think hospice has a misconception of what it truly is, and hospice is for individuals who have 6 months or less to live. Physicians give those orders based off of how their current progression of their disease is going. But that doesn't mean that someone will pass away within 6 months. It just means based off of how they're doing today, they may have expired within 6 months. Hospice focuses on quality rather than quantity of life. They focus on the whole person. So they have nursing aides, social work, chaplain, volunteers that come and help take care of that person and family. I think that's one of the biggest things, is they take care of that family. It is covered through insurance 100%. It's a wonderful benefit that everyone's paid into through their Medicare program. And most managed care insurances cover it 100% as well. Home health, do you want to add something?
Home health is able to provide skilled care much in the same way that skilled care in a nursing home setting would be. You can get skilled nurses to come in, do your medication management, wound care, IV therapies, tracheotomies, ventilators, your G-tubes. Also, all the therapies can come in: physical, occupational, speech, respiratory therapy. They can also send aides in to just help you with your activities of daily living, whether it be bathing, dressing, shopping, cleaning, cooking. They want to provide all of these services to you so that you can stay inside of your home.
Yeah, and both of those services can be provided within an assisted living. We bill insurance for those services. I would say the biggest difference between the two is home health focuses on progression, getting better, and hospice focuses on comfort for whatever remainder of time you have left here on this earth. So I think those are the biggest things to remember, the difference between the two.
Great. All right, Jessica, Amy, way to kick off the show for us tonight. Again, Creekside at Three Rivers joining us here on Open Line. We're going to take a quick break, but we have a lot to talk about tonight, so keep it right here.